Everybody out there is going to show you their super expensive PSA 10s that they made so much money on. But are they going to show you the 9s that they lost money on grading? Well, one thing special about my channel is I pre-grade everything that I grade live on stream. So when I'm looking at these 9s, I have the footage of me looking over them live raw. Did I see defects on these? Was I taking a chance saying, oh, these have a chance of getting a 10? Did I think these were for sure 10s? Did I make a mistake? Did PSA make a mistake? Should I regrade these? This is going to be a lot of fun for me to dig in and find out what happened. So let's see. Starting with the flapple, what I'm going to do is pre-grade it again now in graded form. Do I think this deserves a 9? If I bought this card or saw it somewhere, do I think that it rightfully got a 9 as a card I would try and regrade? So let's start there. So anytime I regrade a card, I always start with the centering. Let me get this light over here so it's fair on the centering. You can see the shadows stick over here. I'll turn on this light too. So was centering the problem for this card? I'm going to say no. The easiest way to tell is just by looking at the thickness in the corner. Looks even. All you have to really do is look at 3. If 3 of them are even, the other side's going to be fine too. Okay, to the back. Do I see any whitening? Okay. So let's take it out of this to look at the back. I see whitening down there. Whitening up there. And let's see if there's any print lines. This is really interesting to me. So, I do not see any print lines. The centering looks within range to me. I see 2 defects on the back. One small nick, one small nick. Okay, this is why I'm doing this video. In the past, I have crossed BGS cards to PSA. Cards that crossed to PSA 10s had 2 BGS defects. Cards with 3 defects did not get PSA 10s. Okay, so I always took that as PSA cards could have 2 small defects or less. This right here is showing me I need to be stricter, and I've felt that through my grades. I don't really track my percentages. It might be something I go back in time and look at, but this shows me if the centering is within range. Centering doesn't have to be perfect, just 45-55, which is near perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. And 1 defect, like if there was 1 white dot here, I think I would have gotten the 10. So I went and found the footage for all these cards, and there's a lot of stuff going on in the live stream. And I think that the pre-grading that I'm doing here is actually representing what I saw in the raw cards. This is going to be a video that I probably do from now on. For every return, I'll probably pick a couple 9s and see what happened and kind of just see if PSA is evolving over time. I think it's going to be a really interesting thing for me to do to keep reforming my pre-grading techniques. But I'm only going to show you guys the raw footage if it's necessary. Like if there's a disagreement, if I'm like, this damage wasn't here before, let's go take a look. I love having that, but I don't think it's required for this video. I think inspecting the 9s as they are in front of me is good enough. So that's where I'm going from now. So on the Mesprit, first, centering looks good enough to me. I don't see any print rinds. They should have a, in card stores, instead of pork rinds, they'll have print rinds. But I don't see any print lines on the hollow. The centering looks good enough. I see no defects on the front on this card. This is a perfect fronted card. So I'm expecting to see something on the back for this to get a 9. Corner looks good. Corner looks good. Corner has whitening. Corner has whitening. Okay. Okay. So that just fits the hypothesis of the last card. Good enough centering. The only problems with this card are 2 defects, not 1 defect. This is a 2 defected card, and it got a 9. I think I'm going to have to be a little more strict on my next sub. And I already have one that's sent off, so if that comes back and I assess some of the 9s and it's the same thing where it's a 2 defector, 2 white dots, maybe that's just something that they've told their graders they don't accept. The centering on this melodic, I mean, it's not perfect, and this is kind of right in the transition period between the move from 60-40 to 55-45 centering. It does look maybe a little bit thinner on the left here. Just slightly. It's kind of hard once it's in a PSA holder to tell, but it looks close enough. Like, I can see why I sent that. It is possible that that is something that dinged me, but let's look at the back and see if there's any whitening. Okay. Literally, look at these corners. They're perfect. That's dust on the case that you see right there. There's no whitening there. No whitening. No whitening. No whitening. Okay, so that step is complete. So now the next step is to see if I see any print lines. So I need to turn on my extra bright light here. I'm going to go ahead and take it out of this case. These are really hard to reuse once you take them out, but that's okay. I got plenty. I really want to get a good look at this. So there's like a little speck of something right there on the card. It is not like whitening or anything like that, but it does look like a speckle of something. So if they saw that, I can see why this card didn't get a 10. So I'm going to say this one was a mistake by me. Believe it or not, this video is one of the reasons that I thought of creating the YouTube in the first place, is seeing like why I'm getting 10s. Like, if I record everything, I'll have a better knowledge, I'll be a better grader, I'll make more profits, I'll be able to collect more, I'll be able to collect my cards faster. I am not disappointed to say that it was worth it, because I am going to change my pre-grading style because of this. And I do understand this is an extremely small sample size. 3 cards is nothing. It could just be that it's one grader on a bad day. It could just be that it's one grader that happened to be checking text as he was checking these 3 cards. I will be doing this in bigger quantities. I will be doing this for every sub that I get back. At least some portion of the cards, I'm going to be doing this to see if I need to keep reforming my pre-grading style. I really do hope that I'm helping you on your journey to catch them all.